This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
Welcome back to the show. We are here to talk about developing healthy sleep habits for 1 to 3 year olds. Yes, most of those children that are still in a crib. So, why don't we first start off by saying hello to our guests here, Liz and Megan. Please introduce yourself to everyone before we begin.
Hi, my name is Megan Wysong, and I am the owner and founder of Bump to Babe Doula and Sleep Services.
And I'm Elizabeth Wysong Hoffart, and I own Good Friends Sleep Services.
Hey, well, thank you both for being back here and joining us today. Please tell us a little more about your businesses before we get into today's conversation. Thank you.
Yeah. So both Meg and I are small business owners, and we offer gentle, evidence-based sleep coaching for newborn to 6-year-olds. And we respect the family dynamics, the nurturing and attachment of small children. And I do also parent coaching, and Meg is also a postpartum doula.
Perfect. Well, thank you both for joining us again. Excited to talk more about the work you're doing. I know, Liz, you also provide the parent coaching and enhance the parenting skills and navigate challenges. We have tantrums and lots going on, and also limit setting with teenagers. And technology sometimes gets in the way with that. But I know both of you are here to join us, and we're excited. Parent coaching virtually and in home in Lincoln, Omaha area. That's for you, Liz. So today we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about a new stage of development. Those busy, curious, opinion-filled toddlers between ages 1 and 3 who are still sleeping in the crib. Rather than focusing on newborn sleep foundations like we have in the past two episodes, well, this conversation is going to focus on toddler sleep training and what makes this stage unique. So we'll be sharing how Meg and Liz support families all over in building independent sleepers, what an effective bedtime routine looks like at this age, and how to determine age-appropriate wake windows, and how to navigate common toddler sleep challenges that do tend to show up as children gain independence and test boundaries. Also, phone lines open 631-307-4010. If someone does have any questions throughout the show, 631-307-4010. To start off with, what are some of the milestones, would you say, Liz, for 1, 2, and 3 year olds that may be affecting their sleep?
Yeah. So I'll start talking about 1-year-olds, and that's anywhere from like 12 months to 23 months. And this is really considered like the explorer stage.
Mm-hmm.
This babies are starting to move, and they are starting to feel that faster stage mentally and emotionally,
Yep.
physically, they're just faster. They're starting to want to be walking. Oftentimes, babies typically start walking anywhere from 10 months to 14 months. They just have this natural drive to want to explore. Their language is also trying to um, just develop their babbling. They might be starting to say one words or possibly two. They're wanting to start to feed themselves. They're stacking blocks. They are pointing to everything. They're starting to develop object permanence. That means
Mm-hmm.
they remember when you move things
Yep.
away. So when a mom or a dad leave the room, they remember you, and they might be crying now for you as soon as you leave to go into the other room at bedtime. So that makes a big difference with sleep. So
Wow.
um, all of these motor skills you're going to see being practiced in the crib,
Yep.
which affects it. So it's kind of funny because I have um, parents that will call me and say, my child won't lay down anymore.
Aw.
And they are crawling around in their bed. They are sitting up and they are standing in their crib, and they just aren't laying down. and this is just that crib practice. Those skills that they are learning during the day transfer to nighttime. So this is not a regression. This is just them developing those skills and continuing. Meg, do you want to talk about the second year?
Yeah, sure. So I'll cover sort of age two, so 24 to 35 months.
Hmm.
This is really the boundary testing stage. So toddlers are really stepping into their independence. Their language takes
Yep.
off even further. They start putting together short phrases, making requests, and narrating their world. This is the time you hear me do it, the classic toddler line. And you probably remember that.
Yep.
Um, Yep. And their confidence is growing, their physicality is growing as well. So they're also learning cause and effect. So how does this all impact sleep? Well, now their independence means that they have opinions. They aren't following
Yep.
the routines like they have in the past, and they feel like all things are negotiable. So you might see them pushing back against boundaries, stalling bedtime, refusing naps. Um, and, they want to continue playing. They
Yeah.
don't want to stop to take a nap. So you see very recognizable sleep behaviors. So
Correct.
stalling. I want
Hmm.
one more book, one more song, every variation that you would imagine. So that's sort of this age group.
Oh my goodness. Lots going on at that age, but they're so cute, right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, and you mentioned this age brings some very recognizable sleep behaviors, right?
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. So you might see them trying to crawl out of their crib. None of these sort of behaviors that they're exhibiting means anything is wrong. It's just their brain and independence are growing faster. We always suggest keeping them in the crib as long as possible. That transition to a bed is sometimes can be very disruptive to sleep. So, moving your mattress to a lower setting, you can
Hmm.
get like a crib tent, things like that, but you're going to have to move them to a bed once they start climbing out.
Wow. All right. So, with all this development, that is normal for small children to go through, are parents really just destined to be sleep deprived? Or can we use this time now for you and Meg and Liz to give us some tools to combat all of this? Because sleep deprivation is a huge thing for us parents of toddlers back in the day, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So let's just call this the lightning round, when
Okay.
each of us will say a phrase and then we'll try to answer them. How about that?
Sure. Bring it on.
Yeah, so let's see. Bedtime is not a hostage situation. It's for leadership. What do you think, Meg?
Um, yeah, hostage situation and bedtime with a toddler. That's a good one. Um, those temper tantrums sometimes feel like a hostage situation. And we always remind parents that they actually need to be the leader in sleep, for their child. That's a parent-led decision, not a child-led decision. So, parents need to be the one to create the bedtime routine, and the toddler needs to understand
Yep.
that the parent is in charge of bedtime rather than the 2-year-old.
All right. So, consistency beats perfection.
Yep, I'll take this one.
All right.
I agree. Since we are dealing with 1 to 3 year olds, I was never able to be perfect with my children when they were little. I had to have different, for example, different bedtimes. Sometimes soap would get in their eyes and bedtime would be extended, what time I would put them to bed. But I really tried to make sure that I did all their different bedtime routine activities each night so they would have a predictable routine. But if I put them to bed sometimes at 7:30 or 8, because different things would be happening, or I'd we'd be out to dinner
No.
or something like that, then I didn't have to be perfect. I just tried to be as consistent as possible.
Awesome. So, Liz, a tired toddler looks wild, not sleepy. Is that true?
Definitely. Definitely. Babies often give you signs that they are tired, but toddlers give you the opposite. They get wired. So you might see toddlers jumping on the couch or screaming and those types of things when it's time to go to bed.
Tantrums,
And how
basically,
long should a
yeah.
toddler sleep?
Most 1-year-olds need to sleep somewhere between 10 to 12 hours a night, and they'll typically take two naps be from like 14 to 18 months of age, and then they'll start transitioning to one nap. Um, that is kind of a slower transition. You don't want to like do it quickly, going from two naps to one nap. Um, Usually that those naps are 2 hours and then they transition down to an hour and a half and then 1 hour. As 2-year-olds, you'll start taking slightly shorter naps, and by the time that they're 3, they'll be down to probably no naps. Um, it's important even when they don't have any naps to still do like quiet time. This is an opportunity to just rest their bodies and reset. Plus, it's really nice as a parent to still have quiet time in the afternoon. I know when my kids were young, I really valued that to have that quiet time in the afternoon where everybody could just relax. Um, and it's- that's where I'm at.
Great. And my computer sucks, so is it probably my turn? No,
Uh,
no, no. It's you, Meg, right?
yeah, yeah,
Like,
that I
wait.
can jump. I can jump in.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to jump in? Okay. Um, so some strategies you can do for bedtime battles that for toddlers that are super strong-willed and are fighting going to bed is really lean into the strong bedtime
Mm-hmm.
routine. That is fundamental. You're going to want to incorporate some
Okay.
connection time, some silly time before bedtime routine happens. That way you don't end up having to lay in their bed for an hour, as part of that connection time. Like plan that in advance of bedtime. You want to play a game, do blocks, get on their level, down on the floor for some of that connection time as well. Singing songs, that sort of thing. And if they are having tantrums, using a picture chart with the routine is something you can use and role playing what the routine is so they know what to expect. Obviously, giving them choices
Mm-hmm.
on which PJs to wear, is good whether or not they want to brush their teeth before or after the bath. That gives them a little bit more control. But again, bedtime is a parent decision and is non-negotiable.
Oh, I need to take that advice. Really, 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 really. Okay, wait, but how, wait, but just again, wait, we should be sleeping, if a toddler should be sleeping how many hours, guys?
10 to 12, and then
Okay,
with 1 or 2 naps up until 14
got
to
it.
18 months and
Okay.
transition down to one.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just a refresher there. Okay, so we are
Yeah.
now talking about some success stories. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Meg, do you want to share one of yours first?
Yeah, yeah. So just recently, I was working with a 2.5-year-old, and mom and dad sleep trained when the child was like 1. And the normal I don't want to say regressions, but progressions
Mm-hmm.
happened when the child hit about 2.5. And again, that happened with the transition to the bed. And this child obviously had more freedom. He had the fear and separation that we
Mm-hmm.
talked about earlier, and we ended up having to implement, some things to ensure that the child was safe in their room because you don't want, a 2.5-year-old walking around your house at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we also got the child sleeping through the night with some really simple fixes, mom and dad's photo beside the bed. So he knew that they were with him, and things like that. So we turned it around in 3 days. It was pretty amazing.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And you?
Yeah. So I had a 16-month-old that was right in the mix of learning the skills of walking and crawling and getting up. Um, was ready to crawl out of the bed. And on the very first night,
Mm,
they had to get her out of the bed and move the mattress down. They had always put her into bed asleep after feeding
mm-hmm.
her, rocking her to bed.
Mm.
So this was the very first time she had gone to bed awake, and they never realized that she could actually crawl out of bed. So they put her mattress down 2 levels, and that luckily helped, but it didn't make her very happy when she went to bed crying. Um, and it was a little bit of a challenging sleep training process because she was standing for the first night. It took about 45 minutes for her to fall asleep. And she first fell asleep with her head on the side of the crib and calling for mom and stuff like that. So her language was pretty developed. And then the second night, she fell asleep first like that and then fell asleep sitting up. And then finally, she fell back and fell asleep that way. And it took us about 10 to 12 days to get her naps regulated, her nighttime sleep regulated. But we worked through everything. And in twelve
Wow.
nights, we got it situated so she had the perfect number of naps. She was down to one nap, about an hour nap, and she was going to sleep right around 7:30 to 7:45, sleeping through the night, happy in the morning. And so in less than 2 weeks, it worked out great. So,
Impressive. I love this. Oh my goodness. I just don't, it's like, wait, my kids were at 10. How old are your kids, guys?
12.
And
and 17, 20, and 22.
oh gosh, see, I don't remember mine being 10 and 10 and oh my gosh, 8 and 10. I was gonna say 10 and 12. It's so hard to remember, but it's like coming back and it's like, oh my, it was so hard.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and I love how before you talked about, oh, in the afternoon, maybe we could take a nap. I'm like, but you think you're going to take a nap, and then something else happens. A pipe breaks in the house. It's, as a
Yeah.
mother, as a parent, there's never downtime. And I
Yeah.
find that's one of our biggest challenges. If we get the sleep in order, I think that can help us all around, right?
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
Yes, yes. And again, don't forget the routine really is important, right? Because again, setting that routine and establishing it, just curious. My kids are 8 and 10 now to establish them, go to bed without the TV, to go to bed without mom. Like, how long does it really take to enforce rules and to make it stick? You mentioned it
Yeah.
with the toddlers, right? But is it the same for like older kids too? Like, how many days does it take?
Actually, they respond really well. Like once you set expectations and you establish boundaries and then you're consistent, it actually turns around really quickly.
Good.
I just worked with a 4.5-year-old and, within 3 days. And in fact, I'm working with that mom to see if she can come on the podcast in one of
Yes.
our future episodes because it had been years that they were dealing with sleep issues with this child, and we turned it around in just a few days.
Oh my
And for you,
goodness.
Joe, the other
Go,
thing is
go ahead, go.
with your 8 and 10-year-old Joe, you could do a family meeting and set up some of those boundaries for
Here
your
we
own
go.
kids.
Hi. You're live on the line. Who's this?
Hello, this is Jacob.
Hi,
Uh,
Jacob. You are live. Just to let you know, you're here with Megan Liz. How can we help you?
hey, hello, Megan. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
Um,
good. How are
I
you?
have I have like a 1 month infant that rarely sleeps at night throughout the night. I know you previously spoke about like how long does it take to see results. So I would like to know for an infant level, not toddler level. So I would love
Yeah.
to know
Okay. Yeah.
how long does it take to see results
Yeah.
for the next phase?
Yeah. So you're still in that fun postpartum newborn stage where your child hasn't
Yep.
developed their circadian rhythm yet. So lots of day and night confusion. They haven't consolidated their naps yet. So they're sort of sleeping, eating, pretty quickly. Usually we really focus on sleep shaping at this age, not sleep training. Sleep shaping is really starting to develop those healthy sleep habits,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping more independently in their crib and bassinet, as well as helping them learn self-soothing techniques. Once they hit about 4 months to 6 months, you can move towards sleep training because that circadian rhythm is developed and their naps are consolidating. But you're still at 1 month, you're still sort of in that survival phase of newborn sleep.
Mm-hmm. So that
Yeah.
means that within like 3 months from now, it's like a little bit of complicated phase.
Yeah. Complicated
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like right now, yeah, yeah, yeah. Right now, really the routine of your day and night is going to
Yeah.
be important. Once they are about 2 months, you really want to move into a routine of eat, play, sleep during the day,
Yeah.
to separate out the feed to sleep association. That's going to give you longer nights, where they're going to be able to connect their sleep cycles, and really sort of lean into the routine of the day to help your 1-year-old have longer stretches of sleep. Or
1 month
one
old.
month old, sorry. Yeah, 1 month old.
Yeah, he's a month, 1 month. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Aw.
yep.
Well, thank you, Jacob, for
Uh-huh.
calling. Anything else you want to ask the ladies?
Well, Megan, like more or less, like I work like on a Monday to Friday basis. So for like to make myself more aware for work, how long does it take for a typical employee to take us to see results within their sleep schedule?
Yeah. So, you're gonna see longer stretches of sleep as they get a little bit older. What I recommend often for my postpartum families, if you have a partner or another adult in your house, is you sort of take shifts. So one of you will tend to the baby from, say 10 to 2, and the other one sort of
Mm-hmm.
tends to the baby 2 through 6 a.m. And that way you know that you're going to have at least 4 hours of dedicated sleep. But sort of taking shifts is going to help you the most.
Okay.
All right.
And like you know how like today's world, it's like kind of hard for the typical like guy to sleep with the postpartum phase. So I would like to know more about how the males can do better. I know it can go one-sided sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah, so for your own sleep, making your room as dark as possible, putting up blackout curtains. You can also use a sound machine. Babies often really like sound machines as
The
well
white
as
noise.
adults to help calm you and get rid of the distractions. And then earplugs. Earplugs are also great. So if you have that shift to sleep between 10 and 2, you pop in your earplugs so you're not being woken up every time the child stirs, and your partner can take care of that child.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Jacob, for the call. Unfortunately, we have to wrap up, but I want to thank you so much and wishing you the best of luck with that little one. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. And
Thanks.
if he does want to reach out, obviously we want to tell him who he has to call. But right before that, I just want to ask another quick question. Anyone else out there who's
Yeah.
in need of a pediatric sleep coach? All right. So when a child's sleep problems are significantly impacting families' well-being, you got to reach out. You mentioned you've tried various sleep training methods without success. Definitely reach out. Severe sleep deprivation is impacting their child's mood and daytime functioning. Reach out. Also, they could be struggling to get a consistent sleep routine or schedule. Reach out. And also, frequent night wakings and nap time challenges. Reach out to our friends here. Megan, Liz, how do we contact you?
Yeah, so you can contact me, Megan, at bumtobabedoula.com. You just fill out a request for a discovery call on my website, and I will get in touch.
Beautiful.
And you can reach out to me, Liz, at goodfriendssleepservices.com, and you fill out a contact form, and I will get back to you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for being here, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you again to Jacob. Have a great day and good luck, everyone. Bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.